last class we studied about loss of information. Once the data are grouped into classes, an individual observation has no significance in further statistical calculation. Means if here you can see 6 observation, 25, 20, 22 like that, 6 observations are there. When the data classified into group, then there is no value for that observation. Value will be between 20 and 30, that's all. Okay, then frequency will be 6. Okay, 6 observations are there, means it is 6. Okay, after that we cannot identify which one is 25 or which one is 20, 22. It's not possible. Then all values in this class are assumed to be equal to the mid value. We will select mid value, that one we studied. Between 20 and 30 we will select mid value as 25. For further statistical calculations, the values of class mark, we will take values of class mark and not on the values of observation in that class. Okay, then the use of class mark will create means like this is true for the other class as well. For all these class we are taking mid value as the observation. Then the negative side of this this one is loss of information. Okay, then it will lead to loss of information. Next one is a frequency distribution with unequal class. Okay, then a frequency distribution is a method of classifying raw data of a quantitative variable. Means we will classify the data like 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40 like that. We will classify the data, and the number of values in the particular class is the class frequency. Means suppose 0 to 10 and 10 to 20, 20 to 30 like that, up to 100 is there, that one is the class frequency. Okay, then here you can see 0 to 10 on frequency, 10 to 20 up to 100 is the class frequency. Okay, then here if you are taking 80 to 90, then value is frequency is 5. Okay, then here frequency of the class is 5. 80 to 90 frequency of the class is, this is the 80 to 90, and frequency of the class is 5. Okay, then in the same way frequency of other classes also determined by, you can see same way 90 to 100, what is the frequency? 4. Okay, 0 to 10 on like that we are determining the frequency. Okay, then the difference, each class in frequency distribution table is bounded by class limit. We know here class limit is there, each class, here different classes are there, 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, 40 to 45 like that, different classes are there. These classes have two ends, one is lower limit, this is the lower limit, and this is the upper limit. Okay, then this, for this class what is the class limit? Class limit is 30. Okay, then the difference between upper limit and lower limit is called the class interval or class width. Okay, here we can analyze that 40 to 45 class width is 5. Here it is 30 to 40, their class width is 10. Okay, then how we can find out class mark or midpoint? Upper class limit here 45 plus 40 divided by 2, then we will get class mid mark or class mark. Okay, then once the raw data are grouped into classes, individual observations are not used in the further calculations. Class mark is used in this place. Okay, then after that we will not consider this class, here we know it is 40 to 50 divided into 2, 40 to 45 and 45 to 50. Then class 50 to 60 divided into 50 to 55 and 55 to 60. Here you can see, means here it is we divided into 50 to, instead of 50 to 60 we divided into 50 to 55 and 55 to 60. Okay, then like that different classes are there, means what we will do, we will take the class mark. Okay, we will take, means here the other classes are 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, like that. Then the last column of this table shows new values. Then here compare them with the old values class mark in the table. This one was the old table. In that one it was like that. What we did means we divided between 50 and 55 how many values are there. We taken that values and we found out this class mark. Okay, then that class mark, we here you can see a frequency curve of a distribution. Here you can see we mark that frequency points in that curve. Okay, this graph shows the diagrammatic presentation of the frequency distribution. This frequency distribution we drawn through diagram. Here you can see in this column we taken like 0 to 20, 20 to 40, 40 to 50, 60, like that we taken classes, and here we marked the values and we plotted the values. Here we plotted, we taken these values and we plotted that these values we taken and we plotted that values. Here it is 50 to 55 to 60, like that we plotted that values. This is the frequency curve. Okay, then the graphical representation of frequency distribution we are calling as frequency curve. Okay, graphical representation of frequency distribution we are calling as frequency curve. Then what is frequency array? Next one is frequency array. For a discrete variable, the classification of its data is known as frequency array. For a discrete variable, here we know, here we can see this frequency array of the size of households. Here size of the households 1, 2, 3, 4, like that we mentioned, and number of households here 5, 15, 16. It is we are calling as frequency array. Size of the household is a discrete variable that only takes integral values as shows in the table. Okay, then this is the frequency. We understood that frequency array means it is the classifications of data, and we know discrete variable is there, continuous variable is there. Okay, discrete variables takes not intermediate fractional values between two integral values like 2.5, like that, not taking the values. Here you can see the table. Here there is no integral values. Then between here 5 and 15 there is no integral values. Since there are no classes, that reason therefore there are no classes in this frequency. Okay, frequency array. Since there are no classes in frequency array, there would be no class intervals. That reason there is no class intervals. Okay, then now we can study about bivariate frequency distribution. What is bivariate frequency distribution? Okay, we know we take a sample from a population, we collect more than one type of information from each element of sample. Example, suppose we are collecting 20 company sample and we collect the information of sales and expenditure. Two information we are collecting, sales and expenditure. Okay, then like that, two information, a bivariate frequency distribution can be defined as frequency distribution with two variables. Okay, then with a single variable we are calling as univariate distribution. With a single variables means we are calling as univariate distribution, and if it is two variables then we are calling it as bivariate distribution. Okay, here you can see in this table there is bivariate frequency distribution, sales in lakh rupees and advertisement expenditure in 1000. Here two variables are there, one side it is sales and another side it is expenditure. Okay, then this reason we are calling it as bivariate frequency distribution. Two variables are there means it is bivariate frequency distribution. Then here in this case, here we know each cell shows frequency corresponding row and column. For example, there are three firms whose sales are between 135 and 145. 135 and 145, three firms are there. We know here are three firms, 65 to 66, 66 to 68, 70 to 72. Means here two informations are there. We can correlate this information, expenditure and sales. Here two informations are there. That one we can compare and we can analyze. That reason we are calling this one as bivariate distribution. Then we can reach in conclusion, once the data are collected, next step is to classify them for further statistical analysis. Okay, classification brings order in the data. That is the main thing. Okay, then we know there are two types of data, primary data and secondary data. Primary data is collected through personal interviews, mailing questionnaire and telephone interviews. Then secondary data means we are collecting from some other sources. Okay, then we studied about this exclusive and inclusive method and frequency distribution, then different classification of data, then frequency curve, these things we studied. Then especially we studied about class mark, what is class limit, what is range between 0 to 100, suppose 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, like that classes are there. We studied about upper limit and lower limit, then about inclusive method and exclusive method, and these things we studied. Then frequency distribution, what is frequency distribution, these things also we studied. Then in inclusive method we studied in what is the speciality of inclusive method. In inclusive method we are including the upper limit and lower limit of the classes. Here some problems are there, we need to do these problems. Okay, then any doubt is there means